Welcome to Malifaux University. 511. Core Rules Scheme, Take Prisoner. Take Prisoner requires a little planning, but otherwise is a fairly simple scheme to play. At the beginning of the game, you choose a minion or enforcer in the enemy crew. The app will prompt you to select an eligible model when you select this scheme, but if you are playing without the app, you should secretly write this model down and keep it from your opponent. Be sure you don't accidentally choose a model with the insignificant ability, as these never count for schemes and strategies. If your opponent has multiple copies of the same model, such as 2 Coryphees in a Performer crew, or 3 Ruffians in a Wastrel crew, and you select one of these, you select a specific one. It's not just any Coryphee or any Ruffian. It's a certain one you identify in secret. Regardless of the enemy model you select, during the game your goal is to simply have one of your models engaging the targeted model at the end of the turn. You do not have to predetermine which one of your models you intend to use for this scheme, and you can totally just use whatever model of yours happens to be in the right place at the right time. The reveal condition for Take Prisoner is scored at the end of the turn. If any member of your crew who is not insignificant is engaging the secretly chosen model, and there are no other enemy models within 4 inches and line of sight of the targeted enemy model, you reveal the scheme and score your victory point. Nothing else happens to either model. The end condition is revealed at the end of the game and is nearly identical to the reveal condition. The targeted enemy model remains the same, of course, but you can still use any member of your crew to engage it by the end of the turn. For the end condition, though, it doesn't matter if other enemy models are nearby or in line of sight. You just have to make sure you don't kill the enemy model during the game, or you are ruining your chances of scoring this second victory point. Of course, your opponent may decide to kill the targeted model to keep you from scoring the point. If she does, though, you will automatically score the end condition point if the targeted model was killed by a model friendly to it. In fact, you'll score this point if the targeted model is killed by any enemy-controlled model. So even if your opponent uses an obey-type action on your model to kill the targeted model, that's an enemy-controlled model. If you use an obey-type action to control an enemy model and make it kill the targeted model, you're only hurting yourself, because that doesn't count as an enemy-controlled model while you're controlling it. Remember that summoned models don't count for friendly schemes or strategies and cannot take the interact action for the turn they are summoned. This means you cannot summon a model and have it engage an enemy model that turn for the victory point, but it could do so the next turn, as long as it wasn't summoned in turn 5. Let's see this in action. Perdita Ortega's family is having a real nightmare with the Dreamer's crew. Lord Chompybits and the Carver don't count for Take Prisoner since they are henchmen. Perdita doesn't want to risk having a model standing next to Teddy, and looking at the card for Coppelius shows he has the Agile ability, which lets him just walk away from engagement. So she picks Stitch Together 2 for the scheme. The guild player studies the card artwork closely to make sure he targets the right model without alerting the Neverborn player to what he's doing. Near the end of turn 3, this Pistolero is engaging the selected Stitch Together model, which has already activated. He does not attack the evil construct, which makes the Neverborn players suspect the Take Prisoner scheme is in play. The Dreamer uses his Twist Reality projectile attack, which ignores friendly fire, on the Pistolero. Cards are flipped, severe damage is done, and the Pistolero is pushing up daisies. Thinking he has thwarted the reveal condition, the Dreamer goes to wreak other mayhem elsewhere. At the end of the turn, Santiago Ortega's Deadly Pursuit ability kicks in, allowing him to push 4 inches toward the Stitch Together model. He has a 1-inch engagement range and winds up engaging the Stitch Together. The guild player reveals the scheme since no other Neverborn models are within 4 inches and line of sight of the Stitch Together, and scores the victory point. To score the end condition, the Ortegas need to avoid killing this particular Stitch Together model, and then have a model engaging it again at the end of the game. A few caveats with Take Prisoner. If you target a model that winds up getting replaced by a game effect, such as an effigy turning into an emissary, or the Coryphee duet with the Demise ability that replaces it with 2 mannequin models when it is killed, the new model becomes the new target for this scheme. In the case of the Coryphée Duet, it is replaced by 2 models, so you'd have to secretly select one of those 2 mannequins to be that target. If your targeted model is killed and then summoned again, like Kurai Ankoku's totem Ikiryo, the newly summoned model does not count for this scheme, since it is considered a new model despite the same name. If your targeted model is buried, you cannot engage it, so would not be able to score the scheme while the model is buried. If your targeted model is buried at the end of the game, it will be killed in the end phase, and you still won't get the victory point, since models killed in this way don't count as being killed by either crew. That's the core rule scheme, Take Prisoner. Pick up a printable set of all the markers and tokens you need to play Malifaux in the Wargames Vault. If you haven't already, join our Patreon for early, ad-free access to all new content, and be sure to visit the Malifaux University gift shop for the latest in Malifaux-themed shirts, hoodies, drinkware, and more. Links are in the notes below. And remember, play friendly games, keep it simple, and have fun.